What's up, Do Life in a Body You Love chicks? If you are listening to me on a podcast app, go ahead and drop us a review and share your favorite episodes with your girlfriends. And if you're watching me on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop more videos. Today, I want to talk to you about being triggered, which we typically think of as a negative thing. But I'm going to say there's sometimes where it's actually good to be triggered. But there's this like vicious cycle that we get stuck in once we are triggered about something, and we got to get out of that cycle. So let me explain this cycle to you, and then we'll talk about how to get out of it. So I lived here forever in regards to my weight. And so I'm going to use that as the example, but just know, I think this applies to literally anything. So here's how the cycle goes. I am a little fluffier than I want to be. We'll say that. And I'm pretty much just ignoring it. Like, it's in my mind, but I'm busy. I'm working night shift in an emergency room, 60 hours a week. I'm raising 2 little boys. I have a husband who doesn't need to lose any weight, can eat a sleeve of Oreos every single night and look like an athlete. So I got that going on. And I'm just going through the motions. I wear scrubs every day. I'm aware that I've put weight on, but I'm also not fully recognizing it or fully having any sort of thoughts about it other than like, I get out of the shower and I'm like, oh, a little fluffy. Okay. And then it's on with the day, right? It doesn't get a whole lot of my time or attention until I get triggered. And so here's how this would go for me. Maybe it's different for you, but like, I go to put some clothes on, some real person clothes, because now I need to get out of my scrubs to go out or something. And, I put on my pants and they button, but there's like muffin top hanging out everywhere. And so then it's like, well, let me like put on a flowy shirt so that you don't see all the bulge. But then the flowy shirt makes me look frumpy, especially because I'm short and I'm heavier than I want to be. So frumpies are really like, it's really easy to fall into the frumpy category when you're 5 foot tall. So then it's like, well, put on something that's more like form fitting so I don't look so frumpy. But then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to suck in all night and there's no way I can sit down. And so now I'm just triggered, right? And so maybe your trigger is you see a photo and you're like, oh my gosh, when did I get this size? Or you hop on the scale and it's been a long time and you see a number that you have never seen. And so you're triggered, or some child says something to you, whatever it is, it's like the trigger brings this, you already knew, but it's like, it really brings it into your consciousness. You're acutely aware of what you've known, but have been ignoring. That's this whole I'm triggered thing. Okay. And so here's the response to being triggered. We're all in. Now, maybe we actually do something, maybe we don't, but mentally for this moment of feeling triggered, I'm all in. I cannot live like this. I cannot believe I let myself get here. Oh my gosh, I am going to do X, Y, and Z diet, and I'm going to do this workout. And in 3 months, I am going to look amazing. Like, I cannot live this way. All in, right? Now, what happens next is different for all of us. And it's different for me from time to time, if I'm being honest. So sometimes what happens next is we fall into over planning mode. So I'm so busy that if I'm going to put all of this time into this, it needs to be like the perfect plan, or I'm so anxious to hurry up and lose the weight that I need to make sure that I have the perfect plan. And so I'm Googling relentlessly. I've got Pinterest boards for days of recipes that I never make, but my plan is on point. What's the best supplement that I can take? Is there a drug my doctor can give me? Like, what are the things that I can do? And we come up with these elaborate plans, or we never pull a plan together because we never stop Googling things. And we just stay in this perpetual state of overwhelm. Or maybe we do execute a plan, but for whatever reason, we're not consistent. So we don't really see the results we want. Or we implement a plan and we are consistent, but the plan isn't working for our body. Maybe it used to work and now it doesn't. And so now we're confused and we don't know what to do, and we quit because what we're doing isn't working and we don't know anything else. So why are you going to keep doing something that doesn't work? Totally not going to, right? Or you lose the weight, but the minute you stop doing what you're doing, the weight pops right back on with aggression. Okay. So no matter which one of those categories you fell into, you got triggered, you're super fired up, you tried to implement a plan of some kind, and maybe you got to your goal. And so you stopped doing the thing and you put the weight back on. Maybe you never get to the goal. Maybe you never start the plan. Maybe you start the plan, but you're not consistent enough. Maybe you start the plan and it doesn't work. Regardless, you're now off the plan. And we're back into this chill zone, I call it, where we kind of let the goal fall to the wayside because, again, life is busy and we're frustrated because what we're doing isn't working anyways. And so we let the plan fall to the wayside and we go about life, which for me was focusing again on my children and my job and trying to keep the house clean and all of the things that were not my body. I'm thinking about all the things that are not my body because I'm just trying to survive at this point. I'm so busy, like it feels like survival. And so it's like, this is gone. I don't care about this right now. And it bothers me, but it bothers me on like a low level where I can ignore it, where I can stuff it until the next time that I'm triggered. And now maybe this time it's a picture or it's the same pair of jeans or whatever it is, but I'm re-triggered. And then here we go down the cycle again. Can you relate to that? Have you found yourself on this loop? Like it's basically the yo-yo diet cycle, right? But it's looking at it through the lens of like what's going on in our brains that even leads to this yo-yoing in the first place. And so it's not bad to be triggered. You can use that emotionally painful thing that you experienced to prompt yourself into behavior change. But here's what I know to be true, having worked with so many women on like weight loss in particular, is that it can't continue to come from that place of pain. Use that as a driver to move yourself into action, but then you quickly have to pivot. Because what'll happen if we're just driving ourselves from this place of pain is that we continue to have a short-sighted view of how to get to our goal. So it's how can I lose weight the fastest? But what do we know about that? When we try to lose weight the fastest that we possibly can, two bad things happen. We wreck our body because the things that we're doing are ruining our metabolism. So it's going to make it so we can't keep the weight off anyways. So that's not a good plan. Crash dieting, not a good plan. The weight's going to come back. You can't do that. The other thing is that we try things that are just, they don't fit our life. They're too strict. They're too time consuming. We put these plans in place that we can't possibly carry out forever. Like maybe we can grind it out for a few months and put some other things in our life to the back burner, but then we're going to burn out and it's not going to be sustainable. And so whenever we're operating from this place of like what we don't want, I don't want my muffin top anymore. This is embarrassing, or, you know, whatever that thing is, we're constantly going to drive too hard on things that don't actually work. When we can take a step back and we can put some meaning to it about what we do want instead. So it's a very subtle shift. I don't want to feel so uncomfortable in my jeans. These are literally painful for me to wear at this point. I look like a can of biscuits exploding. I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. And you reframe that to, I want to be able to slide my jeans on, button them up, and breathe and not have to suck in. I want to be the fun mom who has the energy to go play with the kids. I'm striving for that. I'm striving for being the fun mom instead of being like, I don't want to keep missing things that are going on for my kids. Shift the focus to the thing that you do want. And then it's, what am I willing to do to get that? What can I realistically do to get that thing? How can I put a plan in place that's going to match my life, heal my body, making it about healing instead of restriction? Restriction makes us more unhealthy. It also burns out our mindset. But when we come from this place of wanting to heal, understanding that it may be a longer process to get to our goal, but when we get there, we keep it forever. Like it's this entirely different process. And these are the subtle mindset shifts that we have to make to break that triggered, I'm being aggressive. Oh, wait, I'm not doing anything. Oh, wait, I'm triggered again. If we're going to break that cycle, that is one of the key mindset shifts to doing that. There are many, many more mindset shifts that we have to make. But that's a really great one to start with, is like, okay, fine. Why am I triggered? But now what is the thing that I truly desire? What is the thing that I really, really want? How patient can I be with the process? Healing a body that you've been beating up for decades, it doesn't happen in 3 months. It just doesn't. Even the women who come into my program, which is 3 months to start, some of them end up staying longer. Some of them know what to do after 3 months and they don't need me anymore. But they understand that this is just the beginning of their journey. Even if they lose 20 or 30 pounds in those 12 weeks, and that's their goal, they still have a long journey of healing their mind from restrictive dieting so that they can keep the weight off. They still have work to do in healing their metabolism in their body so that the weight will stay off. It's never, ever just like a couple of month-long process. But if we're focused on the pain and how fast can I get results, we will perpetually live in this triggered, do nothing cycle. And I don't want that for you. I know what you're capable of. I've never met a woman who isn't capable of improving her health. Never met one. Never met one. I've met women who the scale is a lot more stubborn and it takes us a lot more strategy and playing metabolic detective. And then some women just tell them what to do and the weight just comes right off. And they're like, who knew? I've been trying so hard for all these years and this is all I had to do. So it runs the gamut, right? We can never predict the human body. But what I know for certainty is that you can improve your health. If you are overweight, you can get to a healthier weight. I don't know what that's going to look like for you. I don't know how long it's going to take. But I know that when we're badgering ourselves because of these triggered events, it is very rare that we make lifelong change because we only put ourselves into action when we're triggered, and then we get frustrated and then we quit. And so we'll always go back and forth. And so you can break out of that yo-yo diet, I'm triggered type of cycle, but it's going to have to come from a place of purpose and intention and loving yourself and wanting what's best for your body and for your health, instead of being angry at yourself for where you currently are or being embarrassed about where you currently are. Like, all of those feelings are normal to experience, but then we have to move into this other space. And so I hope that that gives you some food for thought today and kind of gets your wheels turning. If you have been stuck in this triggered, do nothing vicious cycle, feel free to reach out. I would love to have a conversation with you about this. Like, this is the real stuff about losing weight, you guys. This is the nitty gritty of the mindset stuff that makes all of the difference for people who just lose weight temporarily and people who keep it off and do life fully in a body that they love. And I want that for you. Like, my favorite thing is not when my clients have the scale moving, but it's when they say things to me. Like, one of my clients texted me last week, or she put in our group that, yes, she was down some weight and all this and that. And she's like, but I'm like, the most surprising thing and the thing that I love the most is how much more fun I'm having. I go out with my daughter so much more, and I'm willing to go out and be social now because I have confidence and I feel like I'm not missing out on life anymore. That's the stuff. That's the good stuff. That's what I want for every single one of you. It is possible. If you need support, reach out. There is no shame in getting support with any of this, but if you got it on your own, awesome. Fill me in. Let me know about these mindset shifts that you're making, because I just want to cheer you on. And I almost forgot, if you're not registered for our free 4-day Fat Blast reset, you need to get registered right now. This is going to be awesome. It is not going to happen inside of Simplified Fat Loss like our challenges typically run. This is going to be in a different Facebook group. Lots of amazing things in store for you guys. That is starting on Sunday. What is the date Sunday, you ask? Let me see. I should have looked that up. Sunday the 12th. That's when we're going live with this. So you want to grab your spot, go to nikkiodea.com/fat-blast-reset. Fat Blast Reset. There's just a hyphen in between each one of the words, okay? And I will put that in the show notes as well, so that you can just grab the link if you're listening while you're driving or whatever. If you can't find it, shoot me a message on Facebook and I will make sure that you get registered. You're going to get a guide with all of the rules of engagement. And we're going to talk a lot about like food and movement that's specific for women's metabolism, specifically for chicks over 35. But even if you're younger, learn this stuff now. It's totally fine. But if you're 35, 45, 55, and you're feeling like, what the frick, nothing's working anymore, then you for sure need to be in this free reset. Grab your spot, tell your friends, the more the merrier. I want this to be the biggest reset that we've ever done. I am so on fire about getting women off of diets. And that is what we're going to do, my friend. So share it with your friends because sharing is caring. Okay, now I'm really done and I'll see you next week.